Welcome to the channel. I am so glad you are here today because we are diving deep into a message that is going to shift your entire perspective on the struggles you've been facing. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your life feels like it's being dismantled and how every no you've received lately is actually a bridge to a higher calling. You are going to learn how to recognize the signs of a spiritual promotion and, more importantly, how to stop resisting the very blessings you've been praying for. Stick around, because the next few minutes will provide the clarity you've been searching for. For those who feel a deeper resonance with these truths and are ready to walk this path with greater intention, I invite you to join our inner circle of members. This space is reserved for the souls seeking more than just a surface-level connection, offering exclusive access to deeper teachings and early insights that aren't shared with the world at large. It is not a journey for everyone, but if you feel the internal pull to go further, your seat is already waiting. Step inside to bridge the gap between where you are and the divine potential you were always meant to embody. The sudden withdrawal of people and opportunities from your life is not a coincidence, but a strategic removal designed to clear the noise. When you are chosen for a higher purpose, the environment that sustained your old self becomes toxic to your growth, necessitating a period of forced solitude. This isolation serves as a protective cocoon, where your spirit can strengthen without the interference of outside opinions or lower vibrational energies. It is in this quiet space that you finally begin to hear the divine whisper that was previously drowned out by the crowd. Being set apart allows you to deconstruct the societal expectations that have dictated your movements for years. You are being stripped of the need for external validation so that your confidence becomes rooted in something internal and unshakable. This separation is often painful because it feels like rejection, but it is actually a divine redirection away from paths that no longer serve your ultimate destiny. You are being hidden away while your character is refined for the weight of the blessing that is coming. In this wilderness, your discernment is sharpened to an elite level, allowing you to see the true intentions of those around you. The isolation acts as a filter, removing anyone who cannot go where you are being taken. It teaches you the value of your own company and the importance of self-reliance under divine guidance. You are learning that being alone is not the same as being lonely. It is a sacred training ground where you are being prepared to lead rather than follow. The silence of the world around you is an invitation to master your inner landscape and confront the shadows you've long ignored. Without the distractions of social circles and constant busyness, you are forced to face your true self and heal the wounds that would otherwise hinder your progress. This phase is about building a foundation so solid that no future storm can move you. It is the necessary prerequisite for the influence and authority you are about to inherit. Finally, this period of separation is the bridge between your past limitations and your future expansion. It is a time of deep spiritual recalibration, where your habits, thoughts, and vibrations are being aligned with a higher frequency. Once the work is complete, you will emerge not just as a better version of yourself, but as a completely transformed vessel ready to carry the upgrade that has been prepared for you. Accept the solitude as a gift, for it is the hallmark of those chosen for greatness. The death of your old identity is a radical process of shedding layers that have become too small for the person you are becoming. This is not a gentle transition, but a complete dissolution of the masks, titles, and roles you once used to define your worth. You may feel a sense of grief for the person you used to be, but this morning is a sign that the transformation is taking hold. To receive the new life that is being offered, you must be willing to let the old version of yourself burn away completely. As the old self dies, you will find that the activities and conversations that once brought you joy now feel hollow and exhausting. This lack of resonance is a clear indicator that your frequency has shifted beyond your previous reality. You are being pushed to let go of people-pleasing tendencies and the desperate need to fit in. This internal collapse is necessary because you cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. The structure of your former life simply cannot support the magnitude of the upgrade God is bringing. This process involves a painful but necessary detachment from your previous achievements and failures alike. You are being taught that your identity is not found in what you do or what you possess, but in who you are at your core. By stripping away these external identifiers, the universe is forcing you to find your true center. This ego death is the ultimate liberation, freeing you from the chains of a history that was never meant to be your permanent home. The discomfort you feel during this transition is the stretching of your soul as it expands to inhabit a larger space. It is common to feel lost or directionless during this phase, as the old map is gone and the new one hasn't been fully revealed. However, this void is where true creation happens. In the absence of your old persona, you are given a blank canvas to co-create a life that is authentically aligned with your divine purpose and higher calling. Embracing this death means trusting the process of rebirth even when you cannot see the outcome. You are moving from a life of striving and survival to a life of flow and sovereignty. The old you had reached its limit and could take you no further. The new you is limitless and unburdened by the ghosts of the past. By fully surrendering your old identity, you open the gates for the supernatural upgrade to manifest in your physical reality without resistance. Supernatural alignment begins when the doors you used to knock on start locking from the inside. This is not a sign of failure, but a divine intervention, ensuring that you no longer waste your energy on paths that lead to dead ends. When the universe starts saying no on your behalf, it is often protecting you from destinies that are beneath your calling. You will notice that certain opportunities slip away effortlessly, and connections that once felt solid suddenly dissolve, leaving room for a configuration of life that actually fits your soul's true purpose. This alignment often manifests as a series of divine delays that test your patience but ultimately save your future. You might find yourself frustrated by the slow pace, yet these moments are designed to synchronize your timing with a much larger cosmic clock. Being in alignment means you stop forcing outcomes and start recognizing that what is meant for you will gravitate toward you without the need for manipulation. It is a transition from a life of constant friction to a life of spiritual flow. You will begin to experience synchronicity at an accelerated rate where the right information and the right people appear exactly when they are needed. These aren't mere coincidences. They are the indicators that you are finally walking the path that was carved out for you before time began. As you align, your intuition becomes your primary compass, overriding the logical fears that used to keep you stuck. You start to realize that every rejection was actually a redirection toward a much more magnificent reality. Alignment requires a radical level of trust in the unseen, believing that the invisible hands of providence are arranging circumstances in your favor. It often feels like you are being guided by a force much stronger than your own will, leading you away from toxic environments and towards spaces where you are celebrated rather than tolerated. This shift is about moving from effort to ease, where your internal state of peace begins to reflect in your external world. You are no longer fighting against the current. You are becoming the current. Finally, supernatural alignment establishes a new standard for your life that you cannot go back from. Once you have tasted the clarity of being in the right place at the right time, the chaotic hustle of your past loses all its appeal. You become a magnet for high-level blessings because you are no longer vibrating at the frequency of lack or desperation. This is the moment where your preparation meets the divine opportunity, and the life you've been praying for begins to assemble itself around you with mathematical precision. The refining process is a period of intense pressure designed to burn away the impurities in your character before you are promoted to a position of power. Just as gold must pass through the fire to reach its highest value, your spirit is being subjected to trials that reveal your hidden strengths and weaknesses. This pressure isn't meant to break you. It is meant to make you unbreakable. You are being conditioned to handle the weight of the influence that is coming, ensuring that your foundation is strong enough to support the height of your new platform. During this stage, you may face challenges that seem to target your most vulnerable areas, forcing you to develop resilience and emotional maturity. This is the training ground where you learn to remain steady when everything around you is shaking. The refinement ensures that when you finally reach the top, you have the integrity and the wisdom to stay there. It is a necessary hardening of your resolve, stripping away the fragility that would have caused you to crumble under the scrutiny of your next level. Refining the vessel also means clearing out the internal clutter of past traumas, limiting beliefs and unhealed wounds. The divine upgrade cannot coexist with the baggage of your old life, so the pressure forces these issues to the surface to be dealt with once and for all. You are being asked to forgive the unforgivable and to release the bitterness that has acted as an anchor. This internal cleansing is what creates the capacity for the massive increase in joy and abundance that is currently being prepared for you. You are learning the art of silence and the power of self-control during this refining fire. Often, the test involves being misunderstood or wrongly accused and choosing not to defend yourself, trusting instead that your character will eventually speak for itself. This level of spiritual discipline is what separates the chosen from the many. The refinement is shaping you into a vessel of honor, one that is polished, purposeful, and ready to be used for a mission that is far greater than your personal desires. The end of this refinement period is marked by a profound sense of inner stillness and a complete lack of need for external approval. You emerge from the heat with a clarity of vision and a strength of spirit that you didn't possess before. The pressure has done its work, turning the coal of your past struggles into the diamond of your future authority. You are now prepared to step into your promotion, not as a novice, but as a seasoned leader who has been tried by fire and found worthy of the upgrade. Breaking generational chains is a heavy assignment because it requires you to be the first one to heal from wounds you didn't even cause. You have been selected to be the transitional character in your family tree, the one who stops the cycle of poverty, addiction, or emotional dysfunction that has plagued your bloodline for centuries. This role is often lonely because your family members may not understand your need to change or your desire for more, seeing your growth as a betrayal of their shared reality. However, the burden you feel is actually the strength needed to shatter the spiritual and psychological glass ceilings that have kept your ancestors bound. As you begin to walk a different path, you will face intense resistance from the very people who should support you. This is because your light exposes the comfort they have found in their own shadows, making your evolution a mirror they aren't ready to look into. Breaking these chains means you must be willing to be the black sheep or the outsider, choosing the integrity of your soul over the approval of the tribe. You are rewriting the internal script of your lineage, replacing fear and lack with a new legacy of abundance and self-worth that will benefit generations you will never even meet. The weight of being the first means you have no roadmap and no blueprint to follow within your immediate circle. You are a pioneer, hacking through a dense jungle of old habits and limiting beliefs to create a clear path for those who follow. This process requires a radical level of self-parenting and spiritual discipline, as you must provide for yourself the emotional tools and mindset shifts that were never modeled for you. The pressure you feel is the sound of old structures cracking under the force of your new, expanded consciousness. Ultimately, breaking generational chains is the ultimate act of love for your future descendants. You are enduring the pain of transformation now so that your children and their children can start from a place of wholeness rather than brokenness. The upgrade in your life is the reward for this grueling labor, as the universe honors the one who had the courage to say, "It ends with me." You are stepping into a life of freedom, carrying the wisdom of the past without being enslaved by its mistakes, and finally claiming the sovereign life you were born to live. Relentless discernment is the gift of seeing people and situations for exactly what they are, rather than what they pretend to be. As your life undergoes this divine upgrade, your spiritual eyes are being opened to recognize the hidden agendas and underlying energies of those in your inner circle. This can be a jarring experience, as you may realize that people you have trusted for years are no longer aligned with your new frequency. You are being given the ability to detect subtle inconsistencies in words and actions, protecting you from being manipulated or drained as you rise to higher levels of influence. This heightened awareness often leads to a pruning of your social life that feels ruthless but is entirely necessary for your survival. You will find that you can no longer tolerate surface-level conversations or the company of those who thrive on gossip and negativity. This isn't about being judgmental. It is about being protective of the sacred energy you need to fulfill your purpose. Discernment allows you to identify destiny helpers versus destiny hunters, ensuring that the people closest to you are those who can actually handle the weight of the person you are becoming. The process of seeing through people you used to trust is one of the most painful aspects of being chosen. You may discover that some were only around for what you could provide, or that their loyalty was contingent on you staying at a level where they felt superior to you. While this realization hurts, it is a mercy from the divine. You are being shown the truth now so that these individuals cannot sabotage you later when the stakes are much higher. Each revelation is a clearing of the path, removing the dead weight that would have hindered your ascent. Discernment also applies to your own inner dialogue and the voices of society that try to dictate your worth. You are learning to distinguish between the voice of your ego, which is rooted in fear, and the voice of your spirit, which is rooted in truth. This internal filter allows you to ignore the noise of the world and stay focused on the specific instructions you have been given. You become unshakable because your decisions are no longer based on popular opinion, but on a deep, intuitive knowing that cannot be swayed by external pressure. Walking in relentless discernment means you prioritize peace over politeness. You learn to say no without explanation, and to walk away from tables where respect is no longer being served. This level of clarity is a hallmark of the upgraded life, as it ensures that your environment is a sanctuary rather than a battlefield. By honoring the truth of what you see, you create a life of high-level integrity where only those who are truly aligned with your soul are permitted to remain. You are guarding your heart, for you realize it is the wellspring of everything you are about to build. The silence of God is often the most profound part of your preparation, appearing as a spiritual wilderness where the guidance you once relied on seems to vanish. This period of quiet is not an absence of presence, but a transition into a deeper level of trust that requires you to walk by faith rather than by sight. When the external signs and constant affirmations stop, you are being invited to stop being a spiritual infant and start becoming a spiritual mature leader. The silence is the space where your character is tested to see if you will remain committed to the vision even when the voice behind it feels distant. In this wilderness, you are forced to develop a self-sustaining inner fire that does not depend on external encouragement. This phase strips away your reliance on religious rituals or the validation of others, pushing you to find the divine spark within your own soul. It is a grueling season where you must face your deepest fears and insecurities without the immediate comfort of a visible breakthrough. However, this lack of noise is exactly what allows your spiritual ears to become more sensitive, preparing you to hear the subtle instructions that will be required for your next level of authority. The wilderness is a place of total stripping where every crutch you've used to support your ego is taken away. You may feel abandoned or forgotten by the very power that called you into this journey, but this is a holy deception designed to foster true independence. It is in this void that you learn the true meaning of sovereignty, discovering that your strength is not found in your circumstances, but in your connection to the source. The silence is actually a high-level training in spiritual endurance, ensuring that you won't fold when the pressures of your new life intensify. During this time, your past victories serve as the fuel to keep you moving forward through the dark. You are being asked to remember what was spoken to you in the light while you are standing in the shadows. This discipline prevents you from making permanent decisions based on temporary feelings of isolation. The silence is God's way of saying that the instructions have already been given, and now it is time for you to execute them with unwavering conviction. It is the bridge between hearing the promise and actually possessing it. Finally, the end of the silence always brings a revelation that is far greater than any you have received before. When the voice returns, it comes with the upgrade you have been waiting for, a new level of clarity, a new mandate, and a new dimension of power. You emerge from the wilderness not as a seeker, but as a knower, with a foundation that can never be shaken by the opinions or the silences of the world. The desert didn't come to kill you. It came to kill everything in you that wasn't ready for the crown. Audacious faith is the ability to move with absolute certainty toward a vision that currently has no evidence in your physical reality. It is a bold, almost reckless commitment to the impossible, fueled by an internal knowing that transcends logical reasoning. As your life undergoes this upgrade, you are being called to step out of the boat and walk on the water of your highest potential. This requires you to silence the reasonable voices in your head and the skeptical opinions of your peers, choosing instead to believe in the blueprint that has been etched into your spirit. Stepping into a vision you can't yet see means you must begin to live, speak, and act as the person you are becoming, rather than the person you currently appear to be. This misalignment with your current environment can feel like a form of madness to those around you, but it is the essential ingredient for manifestation. Audacious faith is the bridge between the invisible realm of potential and the visible realm of experience. You are being challenged to invest your time, energy, and resources into a future that only you can see, trusting that the universe will meet your boldness with equivalent support. This level of faith demands a total abandonment of Plan B mentalities. When you have a fallback option, you aren't truly exercising faith. You are merely practicing caution. The upgrade requires you to burn the ships behind you, making the forward path your only option for survival and success. This high-stakes environment is where your most significant growth occurs, as it forces you to tap into creative powers and spiritual reserves you never knew you possessed. You are learning that the net only appears after you have committed to the leap. Audacious faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision that your vision is more important than your comfort. It is the courage to be wrong in the eyes of the world, for as long as it takes to be right in the eyes of destiny. You will face moments where the gap between your dream and your bank account, or your dream and your current status, seems insurmountable. In these moments, your faith acts as a magnetic force, pulling the necessary resources and opportunities out of the ether and into your tangible world. As you consistently act on this bold faith, you will witness the supernatural becoming your new normal. Doors will open that no human hand can close, and coincidences will align in ways that defy mathematical probability. This is the reward for the one who dared to believe when it was inconvenient and illogical to do so. Your audacious faith is the key that unlocks the upgrade, proving to the divine that you are a vessel capable of handling the extraordinary. You aren't just waiting for a miracle. Through your faith, you have become the miracle in motion. As you step away from this message, remember that the discomfort you feel is simply the stretching of a soul that has outgrown its old life. Trust the divine timing of this upgrade, knowing that every transition is leading you toward the peace and purpose you were born to embody. If you feel called to walk this path with even greater depth, our membership offers early access and more intimate teachings for those truly ready to ascend. Take a moment to reflect. Which part of your old self are you finally ready to release, to make room for the new? To help this message reach and support other chosen souls, please type the word upgrade in the comments below. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and the best is truly yet to come.